So we're at ECGS, dropping the axle off. They don't have the name on the front. Got some cool Jeeps right here. DJ. JL. Awesome looking YJ over there.
What's going on, man? I'm Chase.
Okay, cool. I remember seeing you.
That. It's like a sled.
Oh, that's one of our work tables.
It's nice.
Just slide it.
But we'll go through, we'll get a machine for your press fit, and like these have seals in them.
Yep.
So we'll get those prepared. So now when they get a work order, it's like, okay, we're going to build a 65. So they'll throw it in the lathe, they'll cut it to length, and then they'll press it.
Big boy stuff right there.
And well, this isn't even big boy stuff. That's our.
I heard you guys working on what, 80, 90 stuff?
Yeah. So this is, which we're trying to get away from as much as possible, but a lot of people have different projects that require brakes. But this is our 40 spline spindle, and so like this is like what a 14 bolt's going to have on it, or a big Dana 60 that's got a 35 spline spindle.
Yep.
So this is our 40 spline spindle. So it's literally like twice the size. It'll hold like 80,000 pounds before it yields, and we've been able to make it so that like this is your ABS for JK, and actually this is for some military Suburban. Where we've kind of adapted a new ABS system for the newer Suburban. But we've been able to figure out how we got 40 spline and all this stuff that still fit a good brake package on there that's e-brake compatible, and that we can, put ABS on.
Suzuki Samurai.
Those are a little UTV axle that we build for a company that makes a UTV that's got a dump bed on it.
They run them around on the airports?
No, we do some airport equipment too, but this is more of like a agricultural piece, and they do about 300 or 400 a year.
If you guys don't know, this is Chase with East Coast Gear Supply. Didn't expect to be talking to the owner today. Super cool guy. He's taking care of us. You guys got a lot more floor space here.
So, once they weld it, press it together, then it'll come on to one of the fixture stands, and we'll weld brackets on it. Like, this is a pretty cool project here. This is actually for some scouts that are getting 4-link and coilovers.
This is nice looking. Check these out. So they sent you the mounts? Of what they-
So yeah, we've just you know, worked with a couple of different companies to build the Scout platform that runs coilovers and links. So these are 14 bolts. This is a front Super Kingpin shaved. This is 40 spline as well, billet U-joint. This is a rear. It's 40 spline. This is our 40 spline hub. It is, you know, ABS compatible there. So this is a really impressive package from a strength perspective. You got 4-inch tubes, really good ground clearance, and it's Kingpin. So they assemble, you know, in this area here, and then, you know, once they're assembled, they get washed in this wash booth, and then they'll hang in the paint rack and get painted.
Okay. So for the guys that are really concerned about having a beautiful part, that's for them.
So then once they're built, you know, we get them strapped down, boxed up. And you picked yours up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
You've just always been into off-roading?
I was into Jeeps as a kid, and I bought a Jeep CJ when I was about 16 and fixed it up, and always liked Jeeps, always liked off-roading. You know, went to college, worked in the financial industry for a couple years, hated it, and then basically became a self-taught mechanic and wanted to specialize. And I wanted to specialize in rear ends because I saw the need in the off-road market, just from a re-gearing and upgrading perspective, and that's who I wanted to market to. And then it just escalated from there as our capabilities grew. You know, we just started to grow. And
so some of our viewers know, but I actually owned into, totally off topic here, but if you take the axles out of here, and hopefully he enjoys that. We used to manufacture walk-in bathtubs. We used to own into a company. So there's a lot into getting a place set up right. It just happened to be I worked under a guy that was really into the layout, and there's as much fun and excitement getting a plant operating smoothly, a whip, and I don't want to go and get nerdy now concerning all those terms, but
yeah.
It looks like he has a good flow set up in here.
Yeah, that was the reason why we've moved, was because of the flow. Our other building was about 25,000 square feet. And,
I saw that.
And so we had so much stuff that you had to like move stuff to get the stuff, and so you know, we were fortunate to find a building as big as this is, so that we could kind of set up the flow where it can just run through fab, come through assembly, come through paint, and then sit at the dock. So you know, it's still a mess. We've still got stuff to go through. The moving, you know, a 25,000 square foot facility with the amount of inventory that we have was definitely a challenge. We never shut down, so we continued to try to meet customer expectations and not slow down lead times and stuff like that. So, you know, we worked a lot of weekends. These guys crushed it working overtime. You know, there were some 4 a.m.s that we all stood and looked at each other.
where they're assembling their axles, they got a bunch of room to where they're not bumping into each other, and that's actually going to add to your putting a quality part together. To where they can actually separate axles from the next person's, to where I picked right up on that when I was going through there, and I was like, he's going to be turning out some quality here. So,
and we're hiring a continuous improvement engineer. Probably in the next couple of days. I've been interviewing for a couple of months. That's just looking at process and continuous flow, continuous improvement. How does our quality get better? How are we checking it? you know, all these things. And I mean, quality's always been a standard of ours, but how do we make it better? How do, you know, we never have issues? And
Yep,
so
that's cool.
we're specifically hiring a person that does nothing but look at process flow and continuous improvement.
Awesome. And they got, I got just as excited walking through their previous shelves, seeing the Stax RCVs and all that.
Yeah.
That speaks to me right there.
So I think, you know, a lot of people don't kind of understand, you know, the internet's an interesting place, and, you know, I don't think people understand like the amount of inventory we hold, and
I
you
would
know,
never thought you did.
and why we, you know, have the customer base that we do. It's because we hold tons of inventory. You know, we ship same day, and it's not a drop ship game here. It's we stock it. We sell you what we believe to be the best quality product. You know, we're not brand specific. You know, if you look at the shelves, I've got Motive, Yukon, Nitro, Dana, AAM, you name it. We do so much actual work, installs and whatever. You know, we find the ring and pinions that we want to use. You know, they set up the best, they're the quietest, they're the strongest, and so we make decisions based upon quality, and then we stock it here. So a lot of your off-road shops or whatever, you know, if you try to like go with one manufacturer, there's goods and bads with one manufacturer. Whereas if you purchase from us, you know, we'll send you what we believe is the best on the market. You don't have to agree with us, you know, but a lot of people have seen the value in what we can offer to say, you know, I don't want just, you know, a Motive gear. I want whatever's best for this application, and that changes. And so that's what we've done over the years is continue to build stock and try to, you know, build quality stock. You know, what solves the problem for the shop, the installer, the customer, you know, not what's cheapest or what's most expensive, but, you know, where's the balance between quality and price? You know?
There is, because I've actually talked about that. And I actually I've done some videos. You don't want to go on the lowest side, and you don't want to go on the very high side, because then you start getting into that proprietary.
Yeah.
We just did a couple videos, and I'm tired of being the guinea pig for them companies.
Yeah.
And I have shoveled, yeah, I want to say tens of thousands, but I think it's north of there. And I said, I'm tired of supporting companies being the first guy out there buying them.
For the
I said,
prototypes.
I will come down and run I will say an upper mid-range, or what I will say a good part. I don't have to say, quote unquote, the best part out there, because it may not be the best part. You may be the guinea pig for that part before they get it fine-tuned. So Chase should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we see a lot of your higher end things, you know, be it goes to KOH or whatever, where, you know, they've spent, I don't know, $10,000 on a front end and it breaks at KOH. I'm not saying that what we built wouldn't break in the same scenario. I'm just saying it's not 10 grand.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to find that balance between, you know, strength and price, and you know, not, and for us, and that's great, you know, that some people maybe they want to do that, they want to shave 4 or 5 pounds off an assembly, but it costs $500 or $600 to shave that weight. That's not really our MO, right? It's what's 5 pounds if you can save $500. We are more of you know, sport enthusiasts, where like we want to hit it as hard as you possibly can, and we tear up everything, but we also don't want to spend, you know, $20,000 on a set of axles.
So, and we fall into that category because we realize eventually everything is going to break. It's just how long until it breaks,
and how fast can you fix it, right?
and how fast. You
Yeah.
know, believe it or not, that's why we bought here originally. I think Matt was the original person I ended up talking with, but when I went down through the build, and he just said, hey, and that was one of my criteria. If we're up to Idaho, if we're making big loop, I break something, how many days before can you get me parts? And
Right.
And he went right down through, like you were explaining, how much inventory you had.
Yeah.
And I says, So I said, you guys will go out of your way to get us parts. And I said, appears to be you guys are the company. So,
Yeah. It's amazing how many axles we support that we don't build, because customers that buy complete axles from so-and-so, they'll call to get parts and they're like, I don't know. And they'll be like, well, call East Coast. And it's like, well, this is so-and-so's axle. And, you know, again, we do so much repair here and work. It's like, yeah, I know what they use. You know, yes, we do have the parts, and so we can sell them. But like, I mean, I've literally taken phone calls where they're like, I just got off the phone with who built this axle. Can you sell me parts for it? And I'm like, yes, why don't you just get it from them? It's like, well, they don't really know or whatever. And I mean, I get it. You know, as a company grows, you know, some of these are extremely large companies. It's hard for everyone to know exactly what's going on, but that's again part of the continuous improvement that we're trying to avoid. Is if we build you something, it 100% has to be supported, and you should be able to call our company and yep, here's the parts you need. You know, this is what it takes, and it's complicated. You know, axles are complicated, and there's thousands of variations, different applications, but you have to build out the process so that you support your product. Like, that's a non-starter. And if you have an issue where you have a product from us and you're not getting the support you need, an email to our company, I'm gonna read it. You know, one of my other leadership guys is gonna lead it. We handle it.
He did.
Everybody makes mistakes. There's problems in life. It's how you deal with that after it happens.
So I did not expect to be the owner of the company to be emailing me. In fact, he did. So props to you, I guess, on that.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way, but you referring to yourself as he pretty much doesn't put himself into the top of the category as far as axles. With the attitude he has and the rate he's growing, you guys are going to be knocking somebody out of the way soon. So,
well, I think we build a lot more axles than people realize, and we don't market a whole lot. We don't talk about it a whole lot. One function of that is because we're busy, and it's more important to me to take care of the customer that needs a product than it is for me to talk about, you know, what's next and what's new. Well, how do we take care of what's here in front of us right now, and then support that, and then business will come. You know, we link up with lots of great companies that it's like, hey, you know, so and so sort of told me about you. Can you do this? Absolutely. Let's talk about what you need. Let's solve the problem, and then we build this long-term relationship where they're a customer for life because we solve the problem. And you know, I'm not interested in trying to go out and gain, you know, new business from an advertisement. I'm interested in making sure that we take care of the customers that we have and the orders that we have, and then supporting them after the fact. And then it comes through word of mouth, right? You're gonna tell your friend, you know, hey, we bought this axle, we felt it was a fair deal, we thought the quality was good, we've used it for 2 or 3 years, we haven't had any problems, and you should call them. And then they call it. It's a slower growth process maybe, but just the way we want the business to grow, the way we want things to do, is that's it. You know, we don't need our name in lights. We need our customers to say, hey, this company values us. They valued our dollar. That's what's important to me. You know, not you know, East Coast is the greatest on forums and whatever. It's that the individual customer that actually gave us money says, yes, that company took care of us.
And we're seeing that firsthand. So,
yeah.
appreciate it, man.
Yep.